you doing? Jason here from Bohemia Bees. Today we're going to be installing a package, so I'm going to show you the how to do that. It's about 55, 60, about 60 degrees today, so it's a little cool, but I think it's still a good time to put a package in. Typically you want to wait till above 60 degrees, but we're sun's still out at least a little bit. Here at Bohemia Apiary in Warwick, Maryland, bees are active today, as you can see in the rest of the apiary. I'm going to talk you through the components of a hive, and then I'm going to show you how to install a package. So the basic components of a hive, as you can see, is our bottom board. This is a screen bottom board. We're going to put down, you have your hive stand, which is what you have here. I usually use typically your lumber stands, and that have it set up such so it's sturdy enough to hold your hives. I'm going to be using a couple different components that most may not use within a hive. I find they're very useful. I like innovation here in Bohemia Apiary. I don't discourage it. I don't think that you need to necessarily coddle your bees, but I think it's important to try new things that work well for you and help the bees, give them assist them with what they want to do. The bees will do what they want to do, but helping them in the process is always good. To help them in their transition into the colony, and get the colony to grow and be fruitful and strong. So, again, I got my screen bottom board that we're putting down. We're going to use something called a Beetle Blaster or Beetle Blaster. It's pretty much just a frame shim with 6 holes in it. It's concaved on the bottom. It's really just flashing metal punched. And really the purpose for this is that it allows during the time when the beetles are coming in the hive in the spring and the summer, it allows the bees to actually come and go and such, but it keeps the beetles apparently from coming up around this concave. So again, it's just another technique that people use to help keep the beetle population down in their hives. So I'm going to put that shim on top of my screen bottom board. Make sure it's tight. Okay, make sure my bottom board is centered on my hive stand here. We now have a deep hive body. So I have a deep hive body that I'm using. I'm going to place that on. Make sure that's centered up. Okay. I'm going to start off with putting a couple frames in just on the outside, just to kind of give it some space. I'm using actually pressed wax foundation. This is from Ronnie over in Newcastle at Planting Hope Apiary. He pressed me this. He's moved to Virginia now, so I'm not sure what his apiary is going to be called now, but I'll give you some information on there so how you can get that too, as well as the Beetle Blaster and any other things that I use today. How you can get those products either through me or through someone else. But again, we're just using pressed foundation, wax foundation. It's good to give them a good start. It's natural. There's a video on my YouTube channel that shows you how to cut that and prep that in these frames. Again, I'm going to put 4 frames in, and really just leaving a cavity in the middle for my bees. Okay, I have my package of bees. This is how a standard package comes. As you can see in here, it's really screened on both sides. There's a nice size 3-pound cluster of those bees you see in here. The queen's in the center, and we'll talk about that in a second. A couple tools that you're going to need. You always naturally want to have some sugar water mixed up. We're going to spray these down before we put them in the hive, just to kind of keep them from flying all over the place and kind of get them so they get settled. They'll clean themselves and groom themselves with the sugar water. But it just keeps them from having to have to fly all over the place and get lost. They're not geolocated to anything. They don't have a colony yet. They haven't established themselves, so they don't really know where to go. So this is why you want to do that. Make sure they get settled in. They actually haven't even established themselves with the queen in here. So there is a queen in here. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and open the package up. This is from Rozier Apiary in Baxley, Georgia. So he was kind enough to hook me up with a package, ship this thing out. It came today in my local post office. I picked it up, and there's a Cornelian queen in here, so there's a good solid queen in here. Hopefully she's still alive. We'll check her out, see what we need to do there. But first thing you're going to do is naturally loosen up the top board. There's a can right in the surface. When I pull this board off the top, you'll see a can. I'll show you the steps of this process. But the first thing you want to do is get that queen out. Okay, so if you pull that cover off, you want to save this cover though, because this cover is going to be needed to cover the top off to keep the bees from flying out. Just pull my staples away. So you can see on the inside of this package, there's a can. Okay, and that can has syrup in it, and that's to help them when they travel. They can feed on that syrup to keep them alive and such. And then there's a strap you can see coming across here, and that's the queen cage. That queen cage is down in the side there, and they're clustered around that. And we're going to pull that out. So usually that queen cage is stapled here on top. So in order to make this an easy process, I'm going to start to kind of prep the surface of this package. Okay, there's two staples here holding that, and I'm just going to pull those staples off. That frees up that strap. Okay, don't move it too much. Okay, so your strap's right here. The queen's now loose inside that. She's inside the cage inside here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull her out. So if we drop this down like this, what you're going to see inside the cage, see that queen box down the bottom? She's inside that queen box. So there we go. So I got a grip of the can now. Got a grip of the queen. Do a couple things here. It's kind of a magic show. As I'm sliding the can back, the bees are sliding off. I'm going to give the can a little tap. And then I'm going to take this lid and I'm going to slide the lid in so the girls can't slide back out. Oh, they're eager to get out. Okay, a couple of them get out, no worries. Some of them will go right back in where that queen's at. My point here is to get this can off. Okay, we'll set this can to the side and use that for a feeder later. Okay, so all I'm doing is just spraying this package down a little bit with some sugar water. Nothing harmful to the bees, just so that they can't fly out and go crazy on me. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay. Then we're going to give this thing a little bit of a tap. So they all fall to the bottom. Okay. Some bees will come with her. Let's check out the queen, make sure she's okay. So we got a queen in here. She's got some fondant. Okay. I don't know if you could see this or not, but there's definitely a queen in that package. Okay. There's a little fondant over here, and that's what she's going to eat out. We're going to take and poke a hole out so that she can help work her way out when we put her in. But for now, we're going to get these bees off the package and put her away safely in my pocket.